Good morning, New Valley, Psalm 71 today. And what I love about this psalm is we get the opportunity to learn from an older saint, someone who's walked with God for a long time, and they're still experiencing hardships, but they're still looking to the Lord. The highlight verse for me in this is verse 14, where the psalmist says, "But I will hope continually and will praise you yet more and more." So how do we hope continually and praise the Lord more and more when every year seems to uncover more hardships? Well, the psalmist has a pattern here that I'm picking up on, and it starts in the very first few verses. The psalmist is declaring in the midst of his trials who God is. He says in verse 3, "You are my rock and my fortress." And then he goes on and he looks over his history as we read on. Verse 6, he says, "Upon you I have leaned from before my birth." So the psalmist is remembering how God has been faithful to him even before he was born, even since he was a young boy and a teenager. But then he starts to go into the difficulty that he's currently facing. He says in verse 9, "Don't cast me off in the time of my old age. Forsake me not when my strength is spent." I'm all out of energy now, God. "For my enemies speak concerning me. Those who watch for my life consult together." So he has enemies, and they're speaking against him. He's entering the fray of what he's experiencing. But as we read on again, his hope begins to rise again. And this is how it goes down. Verse 21, "You will increase my greatness and comfort again." He begins to declare who God is and what God's done for him in the past, and says with confidence, "You're going to do it again, God. You've rescued me in the past, and I'm going to rely on you to rescue me again." And his strength only goes further from there, and he begins to bolster himself with a declaration of what God's going to do. Verse 23 and 24, "My lips will shout for joy when I sing praise to you, my soul also, which you have redeemed." And verse 24, "And my tongue will talk of your righteous help all day long, for they have been put to shame in disappointment who sought to do me hurt." Now this hasn't happened yet, but the psalmist is declaring it as though it's a done deal. God will be faithful. Saints, let's look to the Lord. Let's learn from this older saint who has learned to declare who God is, to remember God's faithfulness to him, to enter into the sorrow of what they're currently facing, and then to boldly declare who God is and what he's going to do. Bless you, saints. Hope this word encourages you today.